Welcome to another episode of the
Hot
Seat.
Pod.
I like the back seat I took there. You know,
Like the back seat,
I'll let you handle the hot and the pod part.
the hot and the
I can
potty.
plug in the seat a little
Yeah,
bit.
gotta switch it up a little bit.
Today we're gonna be talking about the Dodgers, the Angels, the Yankees. No,
Oh,
that's for our new podcast, The Dugout, available on our YouTube. The Dugout, episode 1. Shout out to Cooler Than You, Joe. He's running our baseball podcast. This is the football podcast. So today we're going to be talking about Rashee Rice, some Anthony Richardson talk, some rookie draft stock talk. If any of that interests you, make sure you stick around because we got a
but.
banger. First thing first, rest in peace, Uncle Phil. Anthony Richardson.
Hey, Rich.
So we got some questions. You know, Wilson cooked up a nice little episode today. So shout out Will. This is all Will. All Will's
It's a
thoughts.
team effort. It's a team effort, man.
I can do this shit with no
collaborative effort. So I saw some news about Anthony Richardson. Obviously, we know last year he got injured, got some surgery done. Now he's getting ramped back up, into his workload. And I feel as if, we should talk about him, Anthony Richardson, see, where we think he can go next season in terms of his level of play and also how he can take the Colts. But, how far will the Colts go, honestly, with Anthony Richardson, do you think?
So my ceiling right now for the Colts, I would say the best they could get is the wild card.
Yeah.
Is that bad? You think they could be better than that? You think they could be worse than that?
So I think they're a sneaky wild card as well. I have them as a
Okay.
wild card because I don't have them topping the Texans. I can't.
Hey, okay.
I can't. I gotta give the Texans the flowers, man. They're
Yeah.
they're the better team for sure. But I think
Oh yeah.
I think the Colts are the second best in that division, honestly.
I got them
comes to
number
that.
2 in the division too.
Yeah.
I think I got a little hot take for next year.
Okay.
So I think the Titans are going to be the number 3 team in this division. I think the Jaguars will be the worst in their division this year.
Okay.
I just don't see the improvement really that they had. If anything, they got worse losing Calvin Ridley. And I know Ridley had a down year last year, but I don't think Gabe Davis brings what Calvin brings. And if we're being honest, in the NFL, in sports in general, if you're not getting better, you're getting worse. And the Jaguars didn't get better. As much as we want to shit on like what the Titans do, the Titans definitely got worse. I mean, they definitely got better this year, adding Calvin Ridley, adding L'Jarius Sneed. Well, when you look at like the Jaguars' offseason moves, like they really didn't do anything, and I don't expect a big jump from like Trevor Lawrence. I could see it happening, but I feel like we kind of know what Trevor Lawrence is now.
Okay. Interesting. I think I would actually disagree. I think the Titans will still come out last, in my opinion. Even though they did have a pretty mid-season last year, and they didn't really add much. They still added, Eric Armstead from the Niners. I believe was Devin Lloyd there last year?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I mean, they also, I know, it also comes down to like, obviously their draft picks if they're gonna perform. I think, I had them looking to take, possibly a corner, in this draft. So it really just depends, if they live up to the hype. But I don't know. Like when I look at this team overall compared to the Titans, I still think they're a better team than the Titans, in my opinion. But
I just think maybe I got recency bias because of how bad the Jaguars season looks, but from what we've seen from Trevor Lawrence and from what we've seen from Will Levis, I could expect more of a jump in play from Will Levis next year than what I can from Trevor Lawrence. I'm not saying that Will Levis is going to be better than Trevor Lawrence next year, but I think the improvement for Will Levis comes with adding a Ridley, and he could definitely jump in like the range he was at last year. While Trevor Lawrence is just going to be Trevor Lawrence. Like we know what Trevor Lawrence is now,
Yeah.
I think.
yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean that makes sense, honestly. I feel like the Jaguars, they got way too comfortable last season,
Yeah.
and now they've kind of realized, hey, like we need to like get back into this shit. So I feel like they're gonna bounce back, but not to like their full capability, as they're
Okay.
still gonna sit the third seed in this division.
What do you think Anthony Richardson's ceiling is next year?
Next year.
Yes.
So I actually really like Anthony Richardson.
I know you love Anthony.
Yeah. Shout out to Christian too, because he was kind of high on him too. He was saying that he'd win Rookie of the Year.
He put you on.
Yeah, he put me
You
on.
didn't know.
Low-key.
You didn't know who he was.
Shout out Martin, but I think he'd be within that top 10, 15 range of quarterbacks next year.
Okay.
I think he definitely has the capability. Even though we only seen a few games out of him last season, I believe in the hype from that. I think the Colts have the right weapons around him, and he's able to utilize that.
Oh, okay.
What about you?
I think next year, if I'm just talking about his ceiling, like I think obviously he's gonna be a good football player next year. Again, I don't think he comes close to like CJ. So I wouldn't compare him to the Rookie of the Year because the rookie last year had the best rookie season ever. But if I had to give Anthony Richardson a set ceiling, and I talked about this in our trivia video that's gonna come out in a couple of days. Lamar Jackson won MVP his sophomore year, and I'm not saying Anthony Richardson's gonna win MVP next year, but I could definitely see him having similar numbers to what Lamar posted in his MVP year. Lamar, I think, had 2,700 passing yards and 1,200 rushing yards. I could see Anthony Richardson having more like a 2,400 passing yard season and like 1,500 rushing yards. Like I think rushing wise, he's gonna be a monster. Maybe not 15 rushing yards because that's kind of insane, but I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of Anthony Richardson's career, he had the most rushing yards in NFL history for a quarterback. Yeah, what do you think about that? Like a 2,500, 1,500 season, Anthony Richardson being the best, ending his career with the most rushing yards for a quarterback ever.
Ever?
I think he could. I think by the end of his career he could. As long as, and I guess this goes with the question a little later, but as long as injuries don't get in the way of Anthony Richardson, I think there's like, he's just going to ball, like,
Yeah, I mean, I do see like a lot of Lamar Jackson similarity, and it's crazy to think that like so many like quarterbacks in this league and coming into this league have so much from like Lamar Jackson capability and also like that Michael Vick talk. So we're just seeing like so much like quarterback diversity coming into the NFL league now. But I wouldn't disagree with that, honestly. So I like A-Rich. So
then I'm gonna do you one better, okay?
Okay.
So that was what's Anthony Richardson's ceiling next year. When we talk about Anthony Richardson's ceiling all time, like by the time his career ends, this might be crazy, okay? And I know you love Anthony Richardson, so you're gonna agree with me. But I'm not saying he's gonna be the best quarterback of all time.
Whoa.
I'm not saying that, but I think by the time Anthony Richardson retires, he could be the best offensive weapon we have ever seen. Is that crazy to say?
That's a little crazy to say. I don't know if I can go that far yet. Just because
that's his ceiling, though. Ceiling.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying that's what I expect from him, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if when it's all said and done, Anthony Richardson has like some ridiculous offensive stats when it comes to rushing, when it comes to passing. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot, like on the ground. I know he had problems in the air, but I don't think that means he's a better quarterback than someone like C.J. Stroud. But when I'm just talking about like an offensive weapon, like if Anthony Richardson wanted to, he could convert to a receiver or running back. But as a quarterback, he kind of gets the reins to do whatever he wants. And if the Colts give him the ball, then Anthony Richardson, I think, could be the best offensive weapon we've ever seen.
Damn, that's kind of crazy, man. I mean, he didn't even play like half a season yet,
I know.
I feel
that's
like,
why I'm saying ceiling.
Yeah,
ceiling.
Yeah.
Peak.
Dude, I don't know. I can't say all that. I gotta wait for at least one full season of him. But
bro, I'm trying to find his game log.
Like the athletic ability, I can totally agree on that. Like he could play like receiver or running back if he wanted to. That's no question. But best offensive weapon of all time, bro.
Then who's the best offensive player like ever? you would say right now?
Are you talking about just like for quarterbacks?
Yeah, unless you want to say a running back too. I would say it's probably Lamar or Mahomes, like, or maybe Aaron Rodgers.
Uh huh.
Like dudes who just like contribute. Like they'll like single. Like you don't really need players around them. All you need is Anthony Richardson. All you need is like Lamar, Mahomes.
Dude, I mean, there's like obviously like I don't know, man. Like it comes with like doesn't all come with like athletic ability too. It comes with like the leadership, the mind, like the smartness, you know. And then like when I think about that, I just think about obviously like Brady and like Manning and like all those older guys.
I feel like those guys though, and this might sound like a diss, but it's not. Brady and Manning, I feel like you put them in a good situation, they're gonna elevate you to like a championship level team, you know. But you put them on a weaker situation, maybe with like a bad defense or not as good as like offensive weapons around them, then they're kind of what they are. But I could see Anthony Richardson like on a shitty team, winning them like games, like dragging them almost. But like if you put Anthony Richardson on a team that's like elite, I don't think he impacts as much as like. And this is way down the line, Anthony Richardson. I'm not talking about him now, but I don't see him as like a Super Bowl quarterback. You know. You know what I'm trying to say? Like he doesn't. He's not gonna elevate a team, to like how Peyton Manning or like how many receivers Brady has made in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Richardson won't do that. Richardson's just gonna ball, you know.
Uh-huh.
So like he lacks the maybe like team aspect of like winning games, but he makes up for it all over the field, you know.
Okay, interesting.
I know that might be a hot.
That's a pretty hot one, man. That's a pretty hot one, but I like the way you're writing for it. I mean, for me, ceiling wise for his career, I think he'll be. You'll probably agree on this too. I think he'll be a top 3 Colts quarterback of all time if he stays with the team.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't seen like a quarterback with this expectation since like Andrew Luck, basically.
Come on, get bold.
Yeah. So
say top 2.
Top 2.
Say top 2.
Right there with Manning.
Ceiling top 3 Colts quarterback like.
No, I gotta say top 3, man. I haven't seen enough yet, so I can't.
Okay.
I can't go that crazy. I can't go you crazy. You know?
See, that's what I'm trying to say though. Like when I say ceiling, I mean like that's the best he could be.
Yeah.
You know, like
I mean that's like
you think the best Anthony Richardson could be is worse than Andrew Luck. The best he could be, possibly.
No, I mean, but that's like with any kind of player, you know.
Like I would say a top 3 Colts quarterback would be my expectation for him, not like my ceiling for him. My expectation for him, I would probably say yeah. I think that's like where I think he'll pan out. But if I had to say ceiling, I'm gonna go OD because that's like the best version.
I think ceiling is Lamar Jackson then.
Okay. See that now we're talking ball.
Okay. Yeah.
Now we're talking ball.
But Lamar Jackson is not like a top offensive weapon of all time.
What do you mean by that? Lamar Jackson's not a top offensive weapon of all time?
Like one, you know. Like he's not the best.
Okay. Not number 1, but where is he?
I'd say he's within that, top 5 range. Top 5, top 8.
Top 8? You could name 8 better than Lamar off the top of your head.
Like quarterbacks of all time?
I'm thinking more of like an engine.
Like an engine.
Because when you say
I'm like confused, man. Like when I think about quarterbacks, I just think about, I look at everything. So I'm just thinking about
like accolades and stuff like
no,
that.
No, not even accolades. Like just like
you think there's 8 quarterbacks more skilled than Lamar all time?
Yes.
Go.
Manning, Brady, I think Mahomes.
I'm not gonna argue with those 3.
Yeah. I think Drew Brees. I think Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think Drew Brees, bro. But maybe I'm tripping. Okay, keep going. I don't think Aaron Rodgers either, but you know I got.
I think Eli's up there too.
Eli over Lamar?
At the moment, yeah.
Will. Come on, Eli over Lamar?
Bro, Eli Manning's a legend, man.
Eli don't even got an MVP.
Yeah, but he's like, he's been consistent up into his career, up until like, his like last couple of years with the team.
Who are your last two then? If you're gonna say Eli, bro, I want to know these other two. Eli is crazy, bro.
Probably like fucking like.
You better spit out some bullshit. I know.
Like this, like old heads. Like I don't know if I want to put them on the list though, cause like
yeah, because we don't know.
I feel like nowadays it's different. So.
What about Josh Allen?
Nah, I think Lamar is better than Josh Allen.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we could agree on something.
Yeah.
Has there been a better run option team than what Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson have?
You're talking about like all time or like right now?
All time.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, let's hear. I looked up a list just because I wanted to. I'm gonna just tell you some players, and then I'll tell you, or I'll give you my list, and then you tell me if you agree or disagree. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm not saying these guys are better. I'm just saying this is the list that I found.
Yeah.
You taking Anthony, and when I say this, I'm just talking about straight rushing. Okay. Clear. Done. All right. This is the oldest one on my list, so I'm gonna just get out the way. Michael Vick and Warwick Dunn.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know enough about that. I know Prime Vic's like the best rusher ever, but
Warwick Dunn, it's a Madden legend card right there.
What about Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah.
You think so?
Dude, I feel like there's a lot. I feel like the two other teams right now with the run option duo are better than JT and Rich.
In the NFL right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let me read you my historic list, and then I want to hear your two.
All right.
Saquon and Danny Dimes.
I mean,
Straight
Danny
Russian.
Dimes can run though.
He's
Low-key.
moves, bro.
I'll say yeah.
Okay. RG3 and Alfred Morris.
RG3, Alfred Morris. I think so. I think in their prime, yeah.
Bro, RG3 and Alfred Morris were on that list like 4 or 5 times. Like they did it consistently. Like it was pretty, and I feel like RG3 didn't have a long career.
Yeah.
So for him to do it that many times was crazy.
Dude, that's crazy.
The last one was Cam Newton and Jonathan Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the only one I would probably take, or let me backtrack that really quick. I think Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor I would take over Russ and Lynch. I don't remember enough about RG3 and Alfred Morris, but I think I would take Saquon and Daniel Jones over Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson, just straight rushing, just because Saquon was probably the best running back in the league for a while, and Daniel Jones, like, he can run. I'm a Daniel Jones fan, bro. I think I am. That might be a nasty statement.
Bro, didn't you draft him in fantasy too?
Yeah, and he fucking sucked in fantasy. but I'll rock with the boy. What was your take? What were the two teams in the NFL?
Dude, I think Saquon and Hurts is better.
I think so
yeah.
too.
And then I also think Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
But yeah, I agree with you.
So I feel like those two are pretty clear for me. I didn't really look deep into other teams. Let me just like quickly just look over.
What about Justin Fields and Najee Harris? Let's say Russ goes down.
No, I can't say that.
No?
Just because Najee's kind of mid.
What about Justin Fields and Jalen Warren?
No, not much better.
What about Josh Allen and James Cook?
No.
What about? I'm just trying to go through the teams off the top of my head. What about? This is a hypothetical. Jaden Daniels and Ramondre Stevenson.
No.
Jaden Daniels and Austin Eckler.
No. I think Eckler's kind of washed now.
Washed King.
Washed King.
That might be all of them in the NFL right now. Who's the Giants running back right now?
Maybe Caleb Williams and DeAndre Swift.
You fucking love DeAndre Swift, bro. You
That's
love
my guy.
that motherfucker.
That's my guy, bro. Maybe.
What?
That's probably I'd probably be like the third, like closest.
I've got another good one actually that I think could compete. Kyler and James Conner. James Conner rushed for 1,000 last year. Right, I'm not making that up.
I think I'd take Caleb Swift over that.
But would you take Anthony Richardson and JT over that?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's stopping the Colts from being like a legit team? Like, what do you think is holding them back from being number one in their division over the Texans? Damn.
It's pretty simple, man. The Texans have, and you're gonna get hard from this, so get comfortable. I think the Texans just have a really too bright of a future, and they have way too many young guys that are just gonna keep the team at like a high level in that division. I feel like the Texans in that division could potentially be like the Chiefs in like our division, have that number one spot for like years to come.
Let them know.
Until obviously those guys get old and then they have to like go around and like trade guys, but it's gonna be the Texans at the end of the day.
I'm surprised I didn't have that answer.
What'd you have?
I had health.
Oh, health. Okay.
I feel like this team healthy could compete with the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're better than us, but I think they could maybe be on our level, if not a notch lower. But I just think like we've seen Jonathan Taylor go down a lot. We've seen Anthony Richardson go down a lot. I think this O-line is pretty old at this point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Michael Pittman, I know he was healthy this year, but I think the year before that he went down a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they just go down a lot. You know?
Yeah. That'd honestly be like probably my second thing. Honestly, health. That's pretty big because a lot of those guys, they get injured, and like you said, they're getting old too. So
injuries and oldness. Let's end this Anthony Richardson talk with a little game for you, Will. We're playing Who's Better. Anthony Richardson edition.
This is current.
Current
for next year.
Kinda. Current and yeah, we're talking about. Let's talk about. Would you rather have these quarterbacks or Anthony Richardson the next 3 years?
3 years.
3 years.
Okay.
So we're a little different. We're playing 3 years, okay?
All right.
CJ Stroud.
Oh man.
I'll put that one first because I thought it was the easiest one.
Dude, I feel like they're like right there, man. I'd say CJ Stroud.
Nice. Good choice. Baker Mayfield. Always got to throw Baker on here.
Anthony Richardson.
Tua. 3 years. You're starting a franchise today.
Am I having so if I go with Anthony Richardson, I'm taking the Colts team?
No, you're building your franchise like a Madden franchise.
Oh, so I'm just taking the quarterback.
But the world's gonna end in 3 years.
What the fuck?
So you gotta win a
taking
Super Bowl.
Anthony Richardson then.
Okay. Joe Burrow.
Oh.
I think it gets a lot harder here.
Anthony Richardson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert.
Fuck. Anthony Richardson.
Kyler Murray.
Anthony Richardson.
Really? That quick?
Yeah.
All right. T-Law.
Anthony Richardson.
What about Jalen Hurts next 3 years? 3 years. That's not like.
I feel like Jalen Hurts, throughout the years, he's gonna grow so much wisdom, and then he's just gonna turn into this. He's not gonna rush as much, and then he's gonna start
Diamond.
Just diamond, But I'm still gonna go with Anthony Richardson.
I think Jalen Hurts isn't the same Jalen Hurts. But I think he's still good. I think his stock's really low.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe not in fantasy, but I just think people are talking a little down on him for unwarranted reasons. Even though he was bad last year, it's getting a little too far now.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams or Anthony Richardson next 3 seasons.
Oh shit.
Not the Bears. Not the Colts.
Caleb Williams.
Wow. Why?
Even though so many people, I feel like a lot of people are kind of overrating Caleb Williams now, but I still think he's still good. If I had to build a franchise,
it's hard to not pick.
Hard to not pick him.
Last one. Okay, I feel like this one's probably. I don't know. I feel like you're gonna either answer this quick or it's gonna be hard. Jordan Love.
Anthony Richardson.
Really?
Dude, that was probably one of the easiest ones actually for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I put that one to the last.
Really?
Let us know at home. Jordan Love or Anthony Richardson. All right, let's go into the Rashee Rice stuff now.
Rashee Rice. So you wanna just like quickly wrap the news?
I'll wrap it.
Wrap
So in Dallas, where Rashee Rice went to high school,
Wait, what?
he went to high school out there,
Oh shit.
or in Texas. Sorry. But that's why he was down there.
Okay.
He got I don't know if it was charged, but aggravated assault and a collision happened where he spun out. He hit 3 other cars. 2 people were treated there. Another person was treated at a hospital. He got 8 criminal charges in total. Yeah, and he could. I think he's probably gonna end up missing the entire season this season. If it's not by jail time, it might be by suspension. You know, because you can't really be doing that. That's a bad look on the NFL. Bad look on the Chiefs. Definitely bad look on Rashee Rice. What do you think the Chiefs should do with Rashee? What do you think they will end up doing with Rashee?
Yeah, I mean, if it comes down to it, like with the suspension and all that, I mean, we saw what they did with Kareem Hunt, right?
Yeah.
And I think Andy Reid, he's in that whole like Chiefs like franchise. They're not with the shits when it comes to stuff like that. I think they're gonna release him.
Really?
I think they're gonna try either release him or trade him.
Okay.
I think he's done in Kansas City. I mean, it's kind of it sucks to see. I mean, maybe like it's like, you know, he got a ring and all that, so he's all like, you know, fucking around and do all that shit. I think he just made a really bad mistake, and now like he's gonna have to like go through the consequences, you know. What they should do, I think they'll still do that. I think they should still do that. You know, it's some people just have to learn it the hard way, you know. So I do like Rashee Rice though. I think, you know, he has a lot of potential, which we'll kind of go into in a bit. But
yeah, definitely.
What do you think?
I'm kind of with you on what they end up doing. I think they'll probably end up cutting him. I think chasing like value for him isn't a bad look, especially because most franchises will know they're gonna end up cutting him.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a Joe Mixon thing, where how we kind of were like, oh, they're gonna cut Joe Mixon, so we'll just trade it for him. Me personally though, I'm about winning them Super Bowls. I think they should keep him unless he goes to jail. Then obviously cut him.
Nah, keep him in jail.
Keep him in jail. Fuck it. Prison team. Him and Henry Ruggs.
Dude, that's a crazy duo.
Isaac Bruce and fucking Torrey Holt, dog.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like the Chiefs don't really need him at this point. Like, they got Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
They could look to draft a receiver as well. Do you think, in this case, if he does leave, like, they need to draft a receiver?
I think they do. I think a lot of people were talking about them drafting receiver to begin with. It was either receiver or like a DB. I've seen some people say linebacker too. But I think if you need to draft a receiver, this is the class to do it. Like next year, you're not going to get receivers the same value as these guys, especially with their pick at 32.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to find someone. My 3 names I have that I think will be in their range. I think Ladd McConkey definitely could be there. I think he'd be he's such a funny name.
Yeah.
McConkey. I think he'd be like a good fit there. I think Xavier Worthy would be a good fit there. He'll probably get taken off the board before then, but I think that would be nice. And Troy Franklin, you know, that's my guy. I think Troy Franklin, out of these later first round receivers, has the most wide receiver 1 potential.
Yeah.
So I would pick him probably, especially because I think McConkey and Worthy will probably be gone by that point. But I think they need a wide receiver 1, especially because Hollywood Brown, I think, plays at his best as a wide receiver 2. So having Franklin there, you could kind of mold him into that. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it is a pretty deep receiver class, but I feel like, let's see real quick. Do they have a second-round pick? They do.
I have no clue.
They do, but it's like beginning of 3rd round. It is a pretty deep receiver class, and, you know,
They could still get someone there though.
They could still get someone. I would probably wait till the second round, honestly. I think first round you kind of focus on bigger needs.
Yeah.
And you have Mahomes, which is gonna spread the ball pretty well. And then obviously there's also guys in the free agency that they can sign as well. But let's actually like turn back into just real quick. If he does stay at Kansas City, what do you think is like his ceiling is at Kansas City?
Um, his KC ceiling. Uh, well, I just want to say I think if he leaves, he won't be any better than he was last season because last season you're playing with fucking Mahomes,
Yeah.
So if he stays, I think Rashee Rice ends up being a decent wide receiver one, especially next to Hollywood Brown, who is arguably like the best like wide receiver two type build in the league.
Yeah.
So I think his ceiling, I don't know what I'd compare it to, but I think it would just be like another jump from last season. Nothing crazy, but I think I don't even know what he had last year, but maybe up like another 200 yards from that.
Yeah.
150.
150.
What do you think?
Dude, it's kind of crazy to say, but like when you really let me I explain about it, it's gonna make total sense. But
I'm gonna let you.
Yeah.
I'll turn my mic off.
nah, you're gonna turn it off. But I think if he stays at Kansas City, he could potentially be a top 5 receiver from the franchise.
Okay. I'm gonna let you explain.
Let me explain. When you look at the Chiefs' history franchise of receivers, there are not a lot of guys that are up there. Obviously, you got Tyreek Hill. And then who else really? Like you got Dante Hall on there,
Dwayne
Bowe.
I agree with you there. You're right.
And that's about it. Like,
Cole
taking out Travis Kelce and Tony G, you don't have any other guys. And I was doing some research. You have a lot of old heads that like played in like the 60s that are up there. I've never even heard of their names.
Otis Taylor.
Yeah,
I seen his name and I stopped looking.
Yeah.
I was like, because I saw you put that question in there. I was like, yeah, his best season was like 1,000 yards, and Rashee Rice had 940 last year.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think Rashee Rice could potentially be in that top 5, maybe even top 3.
Now we're getting spicy.
Like I don't even think like Dwayne Bowe, like is he even like even really elite like that though?
I don't even know what he did. I feel like Dante Hall was more of a kick returner.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe even top 2.
Top 2, maybe top 1.
He's not gonna take Tyreek Hill, that's for sure. But I mean, it's kind of crazy to see the Chiefs never really had like as many elite receivers in their franchise compared to like other teams.
Dwayne Bowe had a 15 touchdown year.
How many yards did he get that season?
Almost 1,200.
Oh shit, maybe.
But 15 is crazy. But nah, he wasn't really like that. Other than that, he had 2 good years like that. 1,200, 2 pretty much 1,200 yard years. And then other than that, he had like 600s. He had a 1,000 yard year too. 3,000 plus yard years.
Yeah, I think Rashee Rice could beat that if he stays in Kansas City.
I think so too. But he's definitely gonna have this year off.
Yeah. So yeah, because like honestly, it does depend. It helps that like he's like young and he just got drafted, so he still has potential when it comes down to the future.
And let's say like hypothetically the Chiefs do draft a receiver, right? What sucks about sitting out a year is let's say they draft Ladd, and Ladd balls out next year. Now it's like we got Ladd, Hollywood Brown, like Rashee, you were doing some clown shit. We don't need you, bro.
Yeah.
And they could cut him just like that. So I feel like if they don't draft a receiver or land a good receiver in free agency, like another dude, then Rashee Rice's job is like seriously, especially in the NFL, like job is at risk for that.
Yeah. And then I guess we can kind of take back into like if he does go, who are some like free agent guys they could possibly sign now if if Rashee Rice all of a sudden just gets released.
So I think the obvious dude's T. Higgins. Like, that's the dude that everyone's... Is he signed somewhere? Am I tripping?
I think he... Oh, is he a free agent still?
I think he might be, like, franchise tagged.
Or because, like, he requested a trade, right? So he's still, like, technically part of the team, but...
But I think because he's tagged, because I think he was a free agent.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn, Bill's trade proposal for T. But I think T is like the obvious dude that's like maybe available.
Yeah.
But then like other names like OBJ, obviously. Like I think that'd be cool. It'd be fun. OBJ and Mahomes.
I feel like OBJ is done, man.
Bro, OBJ, Travis Kelce, and Pat Mahomes. That's like gonna be the most talked about.
Dude, I feel like that kind of.
Come on, Taylor Swift in the crowd and fucking Odell's there.
Like it's gonna like the marketing.
Cold
The
numbers.
marketing is gonna
Oh,
be crazy.
We're talking football, then I don't know how that's.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, I just think more like system because like OBJ obviously isn't the best receiver, but the Chiefs' problem is always dudes can't catch the ball. And if you know Odell's gonna catch the fucking ball.
Yeah. Okay.
Tyler Boyd's another dude I had.
Yeah.
I just think Tyler Boyd is kind of a safe receiver, especially as a wide receiver 2 next to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 3, honestly, with Kelce there.
Yeah.
I think Tyler Boyd could slide into that role. He's used to that.
Yeah. I had Tyler Boyd on my list as well. I think he's probably the best option, taking off like T. Higgins. I also had guys like Hunter Renfrow as well as maybe like Michael Thomas. I feel like
That'd be good. MT.
yeah, I feel like those guys, could contribute, could be a good filler. But obviously, I put T. Higgins as someone they could possibly trade for.
Okay.
As well as Brandon Ayuk.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I went different with the trade. I was thinking of dudes who aren't available, like dudes who like I could see like slowly maybe working their way out of the team they're on.
okay.
So it's not stuff that's like out yet.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
The first dude I had was Jameson Williams. I think with like
Whoa.
Amon-Ra there, the Chiefs could throw them like a little package, and they're like, okay, we have Amon-Ra. Maybe we draft a receiver. He could do the same thing as Jameson Williams.
Yeah.
And then the other dude I had, bro, I think this team needs to get younger. I think this guy is holding snaps back from a receiver they drafted last year. I think Tyler Lockett. I think Tyler Lockett should get moved. I think the Chiefs, I think they line up with his age really well. And I think he would be a good wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 there.
Interesting.
Because now you can let JSN and DK ball
Uh-huh.
with whatever quarterback they want to rock out with.
Let me ask you this: are you taking DK, Rashee Rice, and Jason over? All right, let me. All right, who are you taking? You already know what's coming. Do you know what's coming?
No, I don't. I mean, go again.
So DK, Jason, and Rashee Rice, or your boys?
The Texans?
Yeah.
DK, Rashee. Oh, we're fucking them up, dog.
You're taking that easily?
Yeah, you're taking Diggs or DK?
No, I'm talking about like the trio.
I know what you're saying, but hear me out. You're taking Diggs or DK?
Next year?
Yes.
I feel like next year, like Diggs is not gonna be as good as he was.
Really?
Yeah.
But maybe just as a receiver, you taking Diggs or DK?
As a receiver, like Diggs, I guess. Yeah.
You taking Nico or Rashee?
I
Don't
guess
tweak
I
here.
guess Nico. Like I'll probably take the Texans, but I feel like that conversation is like a lot closer than like any other team. They'd probably be the second best trio.
Really? Okay. Let me look at the
'Cause
NFL teams.
I don't
again.
think there's not a lot of good trios now in the league.
I don't know who the Titans' third is, but I was gonna say maybe them. Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, and
Braxton Berrios.
Braxton Berrios.
I think I'd still take the Seahawks, man. They have a solid trio if that happens.
If they got Rashee.
Yeah.
What about Debo, Ayuk, Jawan Jennings?
I think I'd take the Seahawks.
Really?
I think we see a Jason jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for that because I like Jason a lot,
Yeah.
but I don't have the expectation. I feel like last year he didn't have the opportunity, so why would he have it this year?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they got the same core,
Yeah.
unless they like start pushing him a little bit more.
Yeah.
But do they have a new coach?
Seahawks?
Yeah. Have they hired anyone?
I think it should be the same one as last year.
Mike McDonald.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Okay. If released, where are some Rashee Rice destinations?
I had like 3 teams on here.
I did too.
Okay.
Let me give an honorable mention first.
Okay.
The Texans. Now you can go.
What?
I wrote the Texans first, and then I was like, I actually got 3 good names.
Do you actually believe that?
Everyone wants to play in Houston, dog. We saw it in the offseason.
Dude, no one's gonna. Dude.
Everyone wants to be in Houston.
He doesn't want to be a wide receiver 4.
Everyone wants to play with CJ.
Damn, bro. Nah, that's crazy. I'll go for the bottom to the top to my most favorite, but bottom I got the Giants.
Okay, I like that. I think that's a good.
I think if this does happen, it totally like changes their draft pick, because they don't have to take Neighbors or Odunze anymore. They could
say it.
They could take a quarterback.
Say it.
Take a quarterback, and
yeah,
that will fucking cause the biggest earthquake in the draft. So that'll be interesting.
The biggest earthquake in New York since the earthquake in New York.
Dude, yeah. So I had the Giants on there. Second, I had the Patriots. Same kind of thing.
Okay.
Actually, no, not same kind of thing. They would still take a quarterback, but that would just kind of like solidify, a better offense.
I don't think you even think about taking Marvin Harrison Jr. anymore if you if you get Rashee.
Yeah.
Because then you actually do have a weapon for a quarterback.
Yeah. So that would be great. And the number 1 spot, I had the Bills.
Okay.
They just lost Diggs for a draft pick. I think Rashee Rice could be a really good replacement in that situation. Also, he's young and gives time for Josh Allen to build that chemistry between him. So.
I'll go through my 3. I had the same. I had the Patriots. That was the team I had the same as you.
Mm-hmm.
But I took the Panthers.
Panthers. I was kind of looking at them. I was like, that could be a sneaky one as well.
I think the way that Bryce Young was done last year, and I'm not a Bryce Young fan, but I think it was dirty because he didn't really have options.
Yeah.
Now you give him Rashee Rice and Deontay Johnson, who those are some legitimate weapons. He wouldn't have an excuse that year. And then the other team I had is the Broncos, actually. I think, if you guys draft either, JJ, which I don't think will end up happening anymore, or a Bo Nix, now you have Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, and Rashee Rice. A Bo Nix or a Penix pick is a lot lower capital. So you kind of want to give them as many targets as they can so they can look their best,
Yeah.
So now the fan base has no questions about the dude. And I think Rashee would definitely help do that. How big do you think he would impact those teams? So I guess we kind of talked about that.
Just a little bit off the Broncos thing. I was gonna put them on there, but then it just felt kind of weird because we just signed Josh Reynolds too, and he's labeled as a wide receiver 2 on our team, and then Marvin Mims at 3. So if we didn't sign Josh Reynolds, I would say totally. I'd probably put them at 1, honestly.
You think Mims is a real 3 though already in his career?
I like Mims, man. I really like him. Even though we use him a lot on special teams, even Sean Payton said he thinks he's one of the most explosive guys on the offense, and I agree with him. So.
Okay. You want to go to the Would You Rather?
Yeah, let's do a little game. A little game like we did before with A-Rich. This time with some rice. Would you rather Rashee Rice? I'm gonna ask you.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you ready?
Yes.
All right.
I think we have really different perspectives on Rashee Rice.
Yeah, so this will be interesting. Would you rather?
Wait, what's the just next season?
Yeah. We'll say. It's. Because obviously, if he stays with the Chiefs, and then if he doesn't, it's gonna impact him. So we'll say, just based off what you seen, just skill.
Just straight skill.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm ready.
Rashee Rice or Christian Kirk?
I personally would take Rashee Rice.
Okay. George Pickens?
I would take Pickens.
Okay, I probably would too. Zay Flowers?
I like Zay. Give me Zay Flowers.
Tank Dell?
Tank
Dell.
I'm taking Tank, dude.
This is next season's skill.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little development in him. All right, then definitely Tank.
Okay. DeAndre Hopkins.
That's a little. I would feel like I'm disrespecting Hopkins if I took Rashee. So I'm gonna say DeAndre Hopkins. Maybe a little name is attached to that. I'm
Okay.
gonna be completely honest,
Uh huh.
but I would feel disrespectful saying Rashee over Hopkins.
I think Hopkins kind of has his Julio season next year.
You
So.
praying on his downfall. I think when we say skill, like a lot of Rashee's success to me is on Mahomes and him being like the best receiver in a shitty situation.
Mhm.
So maybe that's why I'm a little downer, but let's
Mhm.
keep going.
Okay. Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. I wasn't close on that. I meant Amari Cooper the whole way.
Uh-huh.
I didn't mean to hint at Rashee.
All right. Mike Williams.
Okay, now we can talk. Skill? Because I feel like Mike Williams has all the kind of physical attributes.
Uh huh.
So if we're going skill, I'm going to take Rashee.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
You know, Mike Williams is more like athletic, bigger,
Uh huh.
but Rashee is probably more skilled as a receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he just came off of an injury as well, so we're not really like we don't really know what to expect out of him if he's gonna like be the same Mike Will.
That's true.
So interesting. I think I'd probably take Mike Williams still though, just
Yeah.
because of what I've seen.
I'm not mad at it.
Interesting. Nico Collins.
Nico.
That's crazy, bro.
Why? You really think that's crazy?
No, it's just crazy how fast you just like answer.
That's all
for
day.
Guys. Chris Olave.
I I think I'd take Rashee. I think I need to see more from Olave.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you're not really as high on Olave as
Nah,
like,
I'm not.
a lot of people are.
I think Olave still is really raw. Like Pickens, I give the excuse because his quarterback was bad, and I guess you could say the same thing for Olave.
Uh-huh.
But maybe the Saints are screwing Olave a little bit too, because I think Olave works better down the field, and I don't think they really have the talent to be having him cook down the field.
Okay. Okay.
But from what I've seen, I'm gonna take Rashee.
Okay. Deontay Johnson.
I'm gonna take Rashee.
Okay.
I think DeAndre Johnson's like Mr. Consistent, but I feel like Rashee was that last year too.
Yeah.
And I think Rashee with another year on his name, I think he could be that too.
I feel like those two guys are pretty similar from each other.
Olave and Johnson.
Deontay Johnson and Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
I think I see a lot of similarities with those guys. We'll do Calvin Ridley.
I'm gonna take Calv.
Calv.
I'm gonna take Calvin Ridley there. I think
Okay.
Calvin Ridley is a really good receiver. I think he was just in a bad situation last year, and I'm glad he got out of it.
Okay. Interesting. Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry. I'm gonna
Kind of had a
say.
down year last year.
I'm gonna say Scary Terry. I think Terry is a really good receiver.
Okay.
I think he's gonna have a down year when he's playing on a team that doesn't allow him time to get down the field, and your quarterback Sam Howell. You know, next year with maybe Drake May or Jaden Daniels and a better O line, hopefully, that he could have a better year.
Okay. I'll go say like 3 more guys. Keenan Allen. Next year.
Keenan.
Keenan Allen. Okay. Pretty quick. Michael Pittman.
Pittman's a dog,
Okay.
dude. I think Pittman's a couple levels above.
Okay.
A lot of the guys you
Okay.
named.
I think everything else should be pretty set then. I have a feeling you're probably gonna go with the other guy, but I'll just say Drake London.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Drake.
Okay.
I'm gonna take Drake.
All right. So it kind of sounds like you might have Rashee Rice like out of that top 25 range of receivers.
Really?
I feel like
I think so. I think maybe in fantasy it would be a different story.
Uh-huh.
But skill, I don't think he's a top 25 receiver.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, we gotta wrap this up. We got like 5 minutes to talk about this. But
5
we're gonna pop
minutes.
this graphic on your screen. We got a little bit of like you got $15 to spend. You know, you guys have seen these posts before.
Yes, sir.
You want to say your team first, Will?
I'll say mine, man. I cooked it up. So I guess props to me first. You know, I kind of built the list. I saw ESPN put it out, but they kind of had like a weird like stack of it. So I kind of fixed some things up. Shout out to Anthony for building the graphic. But
Shout out Will,
yeah.
not me.
you know, shout out team, shout out Playbook.
Shout out team. Shout out Deucer for popping the graphic up.
Yes, sir. But I got Drake May, I got Rome Odunze, Troy Franklin, Jalen Wright, and Brock Bowers.
Say it one more time.
Drake May,
Okay.
Rome Odunze, Troy Franklin, Jalen Wright, and Brock Bowers.
Okay.
I think I cooked with this one, man. I was like kind of going through it. It took me like a few tries to like kind of wiggle around, but I think this is the perfect team, in my opinion.
Really? Okay, then okay. So I'm gonna tell you what I like about yours. I like Brock Bowers. I think Brock Bowers, you got to take him when you look at this list because there's no real tight end close to him.
Yeah.
I don't. If you spend $3, $2, or $1 on a tight end, I think you lose this game because those tight ends aren't on their level. Obviously, I like Troy Franklin. That's my guy. I got him on mine as well. And I'm high on Drake May too. But I went with a different approach.
Okay.
So at quarterback, I went with Michael Penix. Running back, I went with Blake Corum.
Blake Corum. You like Blake Corum.
I like Blake Corum. I think he's a really good running back. Like, he's not going to fuck you up. He's just going to do his job. My wide receiver one, I actually took Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
I just think when you talk about Malik Neighbors and you talk about Rome, Marvin Harrison Jr. is like a level above them, and they're both such good receivers. So, and then I went with my wide receiver two, which was Troy Franklin, who's my dog. And then tight end, I got Brock Bowers.
Okay.
You like that, huh?
That's a pretty solid list.
You like that?
I think the quarterback jump though is pretty big.
I do too. Originally I had Rome as my wide receiver. He was the first one I put down because I thought his value was really good.
Yeah.
But then I had $2 left, and I was like, I don't want to take JJ, so let me go down to Penix and go up to Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I do like Penix over McCarthy. You know that from my last episode. But that's a pretty solid list, honestly. You get Harrison and Bowers, and then
So I don't need a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I got the weapons.
That's true. There's just a lot of like questionable things with Penix. So I mean, I like Drake May. I think I did a good pair up. I think you did pretty good as well. I think Blake Corum is a pretty good receiver or running back in that case.
I don't remember enough about Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright, he's just like a fast running back.
Okay.
And I feel like having like a speedy running back with this lineup really complements everyone. So.
I think it's crazy that Audric Estime's combine knocked him out.
Yeah.
He fucked himself, bro. He should have not participated.
Should have called in sick.
Yeah, for real. He fucked up, dude. I wanted to take Jonathan Brooks too, or Trey Benson, but just didn't have it in the cards.
Yeah. Wasn't enough. Too broke.
I'm a broke boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
but I mean, we'll have these lineups posted out on Instagram, so make sure you guys, vote on who you think's better, right?
Hell yeah, and let us know. Yeah, like you said, who's is better? Make sure you fill out your own and send it to us. If we get enough responses, maybe we'll react to some of them on the show.
For sure.
Talk a little shit. Talk about why ours is better. Thank you guys for listening to another banger of the
hot.
seat.
Pod.
Say the line.
You want to say this time? I'll give you the honors.
Is that okay? You sure? Run the play.